Hello, and welcome back to Mrs. Johnson's English class. I'm glad you could enjoy me. Pause.
See, that's why.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling the teachers over at Mount Carmel. You're going from being a theater performer to a TV performer. So you can edit, you can cut.
Exactly.
Cut. Take two.
Hello, and welcome back to Mrs. Johnson's Language Arts class. I'm glad you could join me for day 3. First of all, I want to review what we were discussing yesterday. One of the most important things that I asked you to do in your activities over the last 2 days is to focus on your goals for English language arts. What do you want to get out of this class? You were asked to create a goal for your writing skills, to create a goal to improve your reading skills, and to create a goal to improve your public speaking. What is the future that you want after high school? Where do you want to be in 10 years, in 5 years, or even in 1 year? Are you lining yourself up at this point in your classes to be able to reach those goals, to be able to reach those dreams? If the answer is no, then you've got time to change. If the answer is yes, good job, keep it up, keep working at it, but we're still going to have a conversation today about responsibility.
I think one thing to understand, every classroom does not look like this.
Yeah.
And everybody's not doing the same thing.
Okay.
So,
But this is pretty ideal. I like it.
yeah.
Thank you. I was actually trying to do a video about responsibility. So.
I thought it'd be a good idea. It's a week from the beginning of virtual classrooms, to just kind of do a video and write an article about what the experience is going to look like from your end and what it's going to be like for the students. You know, just
Well, I think first, it's good to know that every teacher and student is going to be using Google Classroom.
mhm.
So that's the platform that they're gonna, all teachers are gonna put assignments into their Google Classroom. Students are gonna log in, be able to see the assignments, be able to communicate through Google Classroom, video links, assignment links, tests, everything will go through Google Classroom.
Okay.
Now, what that Google Classroom looks like is a little bit different for everybody, because you can create different things, Bitmoji classrooms where it's just one slide and they can click on the agenda.
Bitmoji.
Bitmoji.
It's like a cartoon looking classroom.
Okay.
So
You have
it looks
Bitmoji.
like a character that looks like me
Oh, okay.
in my classroom in the digital form.
All right.
And
That was mine, and one of the interpretations with the Bitmojis is, like, for example, here I have where you can click and just get general information,
Mhm.
but it is also set up where you actually click on the door to go into the classroom.
Okay.
But each class, I have 4 preparations, but each class can go on there and they can see their weekly agenda. They can link to various Google documents, so it's kind of a shortcut that they can use.
Mhm.
And I'm actually planning on using this, should we ever go back to in-person teaching. I have my little menu board over there because I call my classroom the ELA Cafe, and in the past I've used this menu board for my bell ringers. I call them appetizers, first course, second course, third course, so forth. But here, since I have it digitally, I'm going to post this to Google Classroom. I'm also going to use it on the board when they come in to kind of orient them to what we're doing.
Okay. From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but teachers are going to do recorded video lessons every day. Is that right?
That's one of the approaches that I'm taking. I
Okay.
actually have started a YouTube channel, and I'm in the process of putting videos on there.
Mhm.
I'll also have video links on Google Classroom, but as Mr. Miller had said a while ago, Google Classroom for this fall thing is going to be our primary hub. Most of our information is going to go on there with assignments, activities, Google Forms, that kind of thing. We're also going to be using, well, for myself, I'm going to be using Google Meet to do a virtual meeting with them as well, to check in with them, give them time for question and answer session. Is there any activities that need clarification? And then a part of their work will also be independent work. But we are going to be giving them a daily chance to be able to log in with us individually, to be able to get more feedback from us directly through that Google Meet.
Google Meet is like Zoom.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll be able to meet with them,
Right.
like they're here, but they're at home.
Right.
Where it has like
Kind of like they've been having the school board meetings.
Yes. Yes.
And at least 1/3 of your class will be live.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, and now I think it's safe to say different schools are doing different guidelines.
Yes.
We've had the guideline from Mr. Sturgill of a third recorded, a third live, and a third independent work.
Okay.
As a guideline. I mean,
Right.
I don't think we're
And that-
stopwatching it. but-
Right, and that recorded part at the front end could also be live,
Mhm.
but that
Right.
needs to be recorded so it can be archived.
Okay.
Because some students may need to, if they don't have, if they're not home during the day, they can go online in the afternoon and see those lessons still,
Mhm.
so.
Have all the students got Chromebooks now, or do we know what the situation is with?
I believe Thursday right now is when we're looking to give them out, but
Mhm.
don't quote me on that.
Yeah,
because
other
that can
schools
change.
have-
This week.
Yeah,
And
other
other
schools
schools
have,
could be different.
well, they've already started, some of them have.
And I know I talked to I talked to Mount Carmel. They've got Wi-Fi in their parking lot for students that don't have.
And that's in every school in Hawkins County, they can go to the parking lot, get the Wi-Fi, we have a guest account set up for that.
And I think it's important to say, I think the county is doing everything they can to make our end effective, as long as the student is putting forth effort
Mhm.
to be an effective student. You know, there is some responsibility, more responsibility for them.
Right.
You know, we are passing out cameras today. We've, set it like this, trying to do training and trying to answer questions, and, all the support is trying to be there. I mean, every effort is made on this end,
Mhm.
but, if you don't have internet at home, you've got to put forth an effort to figure out how you're gonna get that
Right.
internet. And, if parents aren't home, do what?
Or come here to get.
Right,
things.
if parents
It's
aren't
gonna
home.
have to. It's gonna require some personal discipline on the part of the students too.
That's exactly right.
That's
Which,
the responsibility.
At that age, I was not a champion of personal discipline. So I needed somebody over me with a bullwhip to do stuff. So that's probably got to be a concern on your part, not having them forced to come to school every day and having you on them every minute. Some of them, I mean, not all of
Sure.
them, obviously.
Right, that's exactly right. It's different than sitting in a desk in a classroom and sitting at home.
Right, because I know there's students who are self-motivated, there's students in the middle, and then there's students that have to be motivated.
Sure.
So.
And we're trying to be as flexible as we can with the Wi-Fi in the parking lot, limited building access to those students who don't have Wi-Fi or transportation.
Mhm.
So we're trying to put in every accommodation we can to meet those students' needs.
And that's
So
where
this
people
is
meet
this
late.
is what your classroom page would look like to the student at home. That is.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, what would they do? What are the? He was going through it a minute ago, but what can you kind of just walk me through
Let me see
what
if I
what
have,
they need to do?
I don't know if I have an archive class that I can open up, but from the teacher's perspective, we can go in, we can create assignments for them. So then when they log on, it will have a posting here that tells them information about their activity, links to YouTube videos, documents, sheets, or slides that we want to place in there. Students can also set this up to where every time a teacher posts a new assignment, they get an email notification. And some students like to do that and some don't, but it'll actually notify them every time I post something new so that they know, oh, I need to go check Mrs. Johnson's class because I got a notification.
And it also has our Google Meet address right there, and those are specific to each class. So
Okay.
every day, all of our students will have to do is click that, and it will take them to her meet during that specific time.
Okay. And these things that you click on the top here, what are they? Describe what they do.
Classwork, again, if we want to create an activity, we can create an assignment or a question. We can ask questions to the class that they can respond to, and then their classmates can respond further to them to give them more information. So it allows a little bit of interactivity among the students themselves, even though it's on a Google Classroom instead of a real classroom. We are actually working on getting the capability of being able to post grades to make this connected with the Skyward program that they already use. And as Miss Maria had mentioned a while ago, Clever is another website that we're having them go on to, and all of these again are going to be connected. So they can go on to Clever, they can access their Google Classrooms through Clever, they can access copies of their ebook through Clever. There are practice resources that they can also access through there. We can send emails and contacts to the students through Clever, through Google Classroom, through Skyward. So there's multiple areas there where they can get information from us.
Okay. And what about the other ones on the previous page, the stream and the people? Do those do anything or?
If I go in,
The stream was the first page you wrote.
Okay.
And then they can scroll down here. We actually can even classify activities. For example, if I want to put classroom resources as materials, such as MLA format, how to do a bibliography, any of that kind of information, I can put that in one area, and they know the caption would be like English Language Arts resources, and they know specifically where to go, so you can categorize things. The people area, I don't think I have anyone in here at this point, but once the students log in, we can go here and see their contact information, see who's actually joined the class. If there's a student perhaps that got signed into the wrong class, we can move them, that kind of thing.
And we can invite their parents or their guardians. That was a thing I got into in a meeting today. So that way, the parents will have access to their, if they want, to their Google Classrooms also.
The first thing that we have is they will have this Google Meet link that they will go into, and there'll be a classroom set up there. And one of the things that I have done on my video is try to pre-teach them some netiquette skills about as far as coming in, to introduce themselves, but then to go ahead and mute so that we're not getting any background
Right.
information. The other thing that I put on there
You learned
is
that from the school board meeting, right?
be sensitive about what's in the camera behind you,
Right, yeah.
you know, so that you're not showing anything that would embarrass you later. So,
That Google Meet looks like Google,
yeah.
looks like Zoom.
And I'm all-
So it's that same format of, you know, video and.
And we can split screens to where they can see what our screen says and the people.
So that, I know there's nobody to Zoom or to Google
Right.
Meet with right now, but that's pretty much that's what they see probably.
Right.
They see you there.
And then,
Do they see their classmates also?
yes, when you actually go in, again, this computer doesn't have a camera on it, so you see my little Bitmoji there in the center.
Right.
But when they log in, this large rectangle area here, depending on their settings, will have my face, for example, when I have my MacBook up where I'm doing it with the camera. And then depending on the settings, you can have the other attendees over here on the right. You can do a tiled version where it shows all of the pictures just all across the screen. There's several different settings that you can do there. But the one that I like is to have the teacher picture here and then the attendees over on the right.
Okay.
And you can scroll through, you can look at them. So I think stressing the importance of your background and the school appropriate gestures and things is going to be important.
Yeah.
We are
Silly.
not going to be recording
No?
the
Oh, okay.
live sessions.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if there's live instruction, it'll be recorded for the archive, but the
Right.
question and answer part would not be recorded.
Okay. So a student gets up like a normal day, instead of getting on the bus and coming to school, they get on their computer. They have, say their first period is English. They're gonna do they're gonna do some live time with you.
They're going, well,
They're
for
gonna
my
work-
particular class, they're going to go into Google Classroom first, and
Mhm.
I'm actually putting task sheets of what I want them to walk through the class period.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm going to put that on there. They're going to go to Google Classroom first. And then after they've had a little bit of time to kind of look over the information, I'm going to do a live session with them to go back over the information, talk about what is there, see if they have any questions, give them encouragement for the next activity, and then they will have time after that to do their independent work.
Is that gonna be on a schedule? Are they gonna do everything? Is it gonna be on their own time, or is it gonna be at a set time?
The Google Meets,
Yeah.
I actually have put together a schedule. I'm not sure if other teachers are doing that, but I have a schedule that I'm putting out on the first day on Monday. I've already got that ready to go. For example, over there on the bulletin board to your left is a volunteer high school schedule. And first block is from 8 to 9:20. So I'm planning at this time for my live session to be from 8:45 until 9:15 with that particular class. And I'm gonna let them know that. Then my Singleton class, my meeting time with them will be from 9:30 to 9:45, and then second block will be from 11 to 11:30. Third block will be from 11:40 till 12:10, and so they'll have that. They already know those are the times to log on.
Okay.
And honestly, I figure the first few days, we're gonna be working with technology issues, making sure they have their, is my mic on? Is this turned on?
Is that gonna be the same for the math class, social studies, all
And it
that?
should be, there
Yeah.
should be a set time for each class to log in.
Try to keep it as consistent with the
Right.
regular school
But
days.
every
But also-
student isn't required to log
Right.
in during that class time. That's what makes it kind of tough.
So that's why part of the lesson instruction is recorded, so we can archive it for those students who may not have Wi-Fi, have to come here and upload
Right,
or
right.
download, so.
Okay,
They
yeah.
may miss the live question and answer part, but they'll always get that daily instruction. They'll have an assignment to do each day for each class.
And they can still ask questions, they can ask questions on Google Classroom, they can ask, they can just do our email,
Yeah, like a
whatever.
digital messaging board.
That's what
where-
that stream was,
The stream.
being there.
Okay.
I'm a math teacher, and I plan on having some of that live time with a document camera on my hand working problems.
Mhm.
You know, maybe a video, instructional video, whether I do it or find a good one online, and then, you know, I'm live, maybe somebody has a question about number 2, and I can actually use my document camera, and it's projected, and I can, you know, work out number 2 online, you know, right there where they can see it and kind of give them hints toward it.
Right.
But then, you know, the
Well,
problem is not everybody's logged on.
If
So,
it was me, I needed help in math.
Yeah.
So I needed,
well, we've got document cameras and, you know, that allow us to kind of turn the screen into, you know, whatever we're writing.
mhm.
We downloaded equation editors to be able to write equations in Google Classroom, and
Mhm.
you know, it's just a lot of technology
Mhm.
and knowing how to switch it.
think that I would just like to, reiterate to the general public, especially parents, that this is new. I mean, we are all learning this together, to just be patient with us, don't slam us, we're doing the best we can, and they're doing the best that they can, the kids are gonna do the best that they can, and it's gonna be a learning process for everybody, and that's okay. So
Mhm.
I think that that's just really important to put out there.
Okay.
And also that the kids know that we understand that that's gonna, there are gonna be things that come up, because I think some kids are already like,
Yeah.
how do I, and their parents, your teachers are gonna understand, like, that you don't need to stress too much about this,
Don't do nothing.
Don't-
If you're
right,
struggling,
right,
you know, if you're making contact and you're putting forth the effort, I think every teacher is gonna be fine with that.
Yeah.
It's those that just shut down. We don't want anybody to shut down, work with us, understand we're trying, and if you're trying to, I think it's safe to say every teacher will.
And we're all really accessible as well, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find it and get back to you, and there'll be many times when we won't know the answer because it's all new, but we'll get back to you as soon as we can. So I think if kids can know that, if parents can know that, then that's good.
And each school, I think we've had a lot of people think that because their elementary school, their kid in elementary school is doing one thing, that we're doing the same thing. And I just don't think that's the case. I think even at the 2 high schools, they're gonna see something a little different.
Mhm.